Welcome to Live with Aaron and Kelly. We are especially privileged to have today with us not only Emmy Award-winning director, but also co-creator, executive producer, and director of 1600 Penn. We've got Jason Weiner with us. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Thanks. It's exciting to be here.
Oh, good, especially on the Live with Aaron and Kelly show. I'm just kidding. But Jason, tell me, do you laugh in your sleep?
Well, I'm laughing right now, and so it's pretty early in the morning. Do you define this as laughing in my sleep?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Are you a morning person or an evening person?
I'm an evening person, but I can be convinced to be a morning person if I've got enough coffee in me.
Gotcha. Okay, that's the way my cameraman is. If he doesn't have coffee, he's not a happy guy, and he doesn't make me look very good. Now, Jason, tell me, you've got a fantastic resume, not only of movies and TV, winning your Emmy for Modern Family, one of our favorite here, but now 1600 Penn. How did this come about?
You know, it's funny. It began with my relationship with Josh Gad, who I met when he was auditioning for a role in Modern Family, in the pilot originally.
Yeah.
And he withdrew from that process to go off and do some silly play about Mormons. And we all thought he was nuts at the time, but that silly play turned into the Book of Mormon, the biggest hit on Broadway in years and years and years. And Josh, it was nominated for Tonys, and it all worked out for everybody. But years later, we still had this desire to work together, and we were trying to figure the right idea. And Josh had this crazy notion about doing a show about an ordinary family living at the most extraordinary address in America, the White House. And I thought it was a great idea for a sitcom because, when you think about it, the White House is the most extraordinary home office in the country. It's a place where the family both lives and works. I thought, hey, here's a chance to do a kind of realistic sitcom because the family in this show would actually have a reason to be in the house the entire time.
Right. Okay. And you've got a great cast. I mean, you pulled together some big names. Obviously, as we all know, the dearly loved Independence Day president Bill Pullman. Tell us, was he apprehensive to do this? Did he jump on right away?
Well, he was apprehensive to play the president again, but when he read the script, he realized that this particular character, if you take out the fact that he's a president. Well, frankly, it's much closer to his character in Spaceballs than it is to his character in Independence Day.
Oh, my God, I love Spaceballs. Yeah, that's true.
What Bill has, which is so amazing, is a combination of gravitas and goofiness that very few actors have. It was important to us that the president on this show actually be a good president, that he have, the ability to command the attention of a crowd, that he feel like he's really good at his job. Mm-hmm. And Bill conveys that. He projects that. But the comedy comes from him being a guy who's a little bit old school. He's a former Marine. He owns a ranch. He's a man's man, a little bit of a throwback. And he's not great when it comes to relating emotionally to his kids.
Right.
And then you give this guy a son like Josh's character who is nothing but heart and emotion. I mean, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a big kid. And he doesn't know what to do with this guy. And so that relationship is really it's the buddy comedy at the heart of this show.
Now, and then of course you've got from long, what I remember, Dharma and Greg, Jenna Elfman. Jenna Elfman is hilarious. Whose decision was it to bring Jenna on?
Well, it was all of ours, but mine in large part. I mean, Jenna is she's a comedy powerhouse. She is unbelievably strong as a person, and I like that for the character. She's opinionated, and she comes across as having a lot of, to use a Jewish word, chutzpah. You know what I mean?
What does that mean?
And we wanted this first lady character to...
I'm not Jewish, so what does that mean?
It means balls.
Got it. Oh, okay. That's the way to say it, huh, in Jewish. Okay, I'm going to learn that word then.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Now you can throw chutzpah around left and right.
Okay. Now, Jason, I wanted to take you back. What was your very first camera? When did you start? When did you pick up a camera and knew you wanted to do that?
You know, it's funny. I was into still photography before I was into making movies.
Oh, really?
At about 12 years old, I got a Pentax K1000, and I learned about, shutter speeds and apertures, and I was really into photography as a kid. I used to love to work in the darkroom. When I went to college, I went to Northwestern, and I studied performance studies, which is a really snobby version of a theater major.
Oh, all right.
It combines a lot of writing and literature with acting and directing. And so I was getting an education in storytelling without really knowing that I was going to use it to become a director.
Because, I mean, you for those that don't know, you have done acting in your own right. But you also know comedian timing because you've done a little bit of that, right?
Yeah. I started off doing the improv. I was in the improv comedy group at Northwestern called the Meow Show. A lot of famous people have been in it over the years. David Schwimmer, Shelley Long, Julie Louis-Dreyfus actually was in it. And my particular cast stayed together after college and started performing at the Improv Olympic Theater in Chicago. We studied with a famous guru of comedy and improv named Del Close, who taught Belushi, Radner, Murray, Farley, and it was an incredible education. And and then I moved out to LA with that cast, with that group of people I'd been performing comedy with, and we would write and perform together, and that's sort of how I got my start.
Wow. Well, congratulations. Arthur, fantastic job. What was it like, taking on that project when you did? I mean, the end result speaks for itself, but were there any awkward moments being the director there?
Of Arthur?
Yes.
Yeah. That was an incredibly challenging process. Not just because we were shooting during the hottest summer on record in New York City, but also because we were tackling a classic. And I think we underestimated the affection that people have in their memory for that movie. We were really trying to do something new and different with it, trying to make it our own, trying to take the spirit of that movie and honor it by making it something relevant for today. And I think a lot of critics, when they saw the movie, couldn't help but compare it to what they remembered of the original.
Right.
That said, I'm incredibly proud of the outcome regardless, and I do think we made something fresh and unusual and a kind of movie that doesn't get made a lot these days, which is one that combines a lot of heart and emotion with some broad comedy, which is my favorite mixture.
Well, especially for a newer generation, I mean, you did a fantastic job on that. Congratulations. Now, I got to ask real quick before we let you go, of all the directors that you look up to and perhaps aspire to be, which one do you look up to?
Well, there's a lot of different ones, and I have some unusual heroes. Sidney Pollack is one of my favorite directors of all time, and a guy who started out as an actor. Maybe that's why I like him so much. But, he directed Tootsie, which is maybe my favorite comedy of all time for exactly the reason that we were just talking about. It's a movie that has some really broad laugh out loud moments, but in the end it really gets you in the heart. And that's what I hope we're doing with 1610. We're giving you some really big laughs and a little bit of a warm feeling, hopefully, by the end of an episode.
Jason, thank you so very much for taking a moment with us, and we are going to watch more of you guys every Thursday from 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, Pacific Time. Thanks for taking a moment with us.
Thanks so much, man. I'm really proud of these episodes. They get better and better as they go. I hope people like them.